Hey, welcome to The Explainer. So, we're all living in this world that's just constantly changing, right? So, how do you find your footing? How do you find any kind of stability? Well, today, we're going to dig into this really simple but honestly pretty profound idea that comes from one powerful metaphor: the tree.
And the source material for this kicks off with this really beautiful image. Just picture it for a second. A tree out in the forest, and it's standing tall with grace. It's not just there, it's there with this sense of elegance. That one little phrase, it really sets the tone for everything we're about to get into. That search for our own inner grace when everything outside feels like chaos.
All right, Section 1, Life in Motion. So, to really get why this whole stability thing matters so much, we've got to look at the world the tree actually lives in. And spoiler alert, it's our world, which the source basically calls a state of nonstop, unrelenting motion. The source starts with something so simple. Birds come and go. And of course, this isn't literally just about birds. Think about it. It's all those small, fleeting things in our own lives, right? A mood that passes, a project at work that wraps up, even just a friendly chat with a stranger. They show up, and then poof, they're gone.
And then the idea gets a little heavier, a little deeper. It moves from birds to people. People will come, people will go. And this one hits closer to home, doesn't it? We're talking about the really significant emotional stuff now. Friendships change, coworkers leave, relationships start, and, well, sometimes they end. It's a tough, fundamental truth that the people who are so important to us, they're also part of this constant flow. But here's the real kicker. It happens again and again. This isn't just a one-off thing. It's a cycle. It's relentless. And all of that coming and going, all those beginnings and endings, can really leave you feeling, a bit lost at sea, right? Totally unmoored. You start looking for anything solid to grab onto. And that, right there, is where the tree comes in as our anchor.
Okay, Section 2, the unshakable tree. So, if life is just this whirlwind of constant motion, what's the alternative? Well, the source gives us a really powerful answer: becoming that unshakable tree. It's our anchor in the storm.
And here it is. This is the big pivot for the whole idea. While everything else is swirling around, the birds, the people, all the seasons of our lives, but the tree stays the same. It has this constant core. It's a perfect illustration of the kind of stability we can actually build inside ourselves, even when the world outside is going nuts.
So let's just define our terms here, right? When we're talking about the tree, we're obviously not saying you should go out and grow bark. We're talking about what it symbolizes. It's a symbol of stability, of grace, and of having this consistent presence, no matter what or who is coming or going in your life.
If you had to boil it down to one thing, the number one quality of this tree is its constant presence. It's just reliably there. It's this practice of showing up, not just for other people, but for yourself, from this really solid place deep inside. But okay, what does that actually look like? How do you do that in real life?
Which brings us to Section 3, standing your ground. This is the how-to part. How do we take this really nice metaphor and turn it into something we can actually use? How do we practice standing our ground like that tree?
Now, it's super important to be clear about what this isn't. Being like a tree doesn't mean you're static or rigid. It definitely doesn't mean you're unfeeling. A real tree is alive, right? It bends with the wind. What it is about is being grounded and consistent. You're aware of everything happening around you, the good, the bad, but you're not getting knocked over by it. You stay centered.
We can actually break this down into 3 basic steps. First, just acknowledge that things are transient. Don't fight it. Accept that, people and situations will come and go. Step 2, identify your core. What are your non-negotiables? Your values, your purpose? That's your trunk. And finally, step 3 is to practice presence. Just show up every day, anchored in that core, and try to do it with a little grace.
All right, Section 4, a rooted existence. See, when you start to put all these pieces together, it's not just a coping mechanism anymore. It really becomes a way of life, a way of cultivating what you could call a rooted existence.
And the source wraps this all up with a really powerful call to action. Be like a tree standing every day the same. Now, that doesn't mean being boring or predictable. It means your core, that inner tree we've been talking about, stands with the same strength,
the same integrity, the same grace, no matter what the weather is like on the outside.
So what is that inner sameness? What are we even talking about here?
Well, think of them as your roots. It's your values, your sense of purpose. It's that quiet, calm center inside you that you can always come back to. It's the grace you try to bring to the world. These are the things that can stay solid, even when everything else feels like it's shifting under your feet.
Look, this isn't just a feel-good idea. It's a real commitment. Being a tree takes work. It takes intention. So I want to leave you with this final question, and it's for you to think about. What in your life is worth being a tree for? What person, what principle, what purpose is so important to you that you're willing to do the work to cultivate this unshakable presence, not just for them, but for yourself? Thanks for joining me on this explainer.